Okay, class. Today we're going to learn about the two most important things about, our problems in Canada. Can someone name the two most important things in Canada? Oh, I know. Is it immigration and Islamophobia? No, Jimmy, you're wrong. But about the first topic, you are right. Islamophobia is apparently a big problem, but so is feminism. See, once a great man said, actually, fun fact, our Prime Minister said that the most important topics ever to investigate on are feminism and Islamic phobia. But everything Mr. Trudeau says isn't Trudeau.
Bounds.
Good day to all. My name is Destroyer Games and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Trudeau. Now, you can tell that the skits are back, because I got this camera working, and this will be a new series. It's going to be a rant series. I'm just going to be ranting about, about certain leaders and stuff like that. And I don't really hate them personally, it's just that, some of the decisions I think that are stupid and are worth ranting about. So all these videos, or all these rant videos are going to be recorded with my face and body because I have a camera now. We're still doing the discussion stuff. I want more series on this channel so it's not so plain, if you get my drift. Alright, so let's actually get to the video here. So, where to start with Mr. Trudeau? Well, what I think he's trying to do is that the major problems he's working on is feminism and what's it called? Islamic phobia. I keep messing that one up, but those are the two most important things in Trudeau's eyes that, he thinks that are important. In my opinion, he could be working on the economy, the trade system, the environment, anything. But he chooses to work on such a petty and useless issue. In my opinion, it's useless and it shouldn't even be an issue, is because most people are like, okay, Canada is a very equal country, if you know what I mean. In my opinion, it's the most equalist country in the world. We're the first to accept transgenders in our army, first to accept gays, all that type of stuff. And I don't have a problem with that, and I think it's like an everyday thing when there's a transgender in your school, something like that. You're just like, well, that's normal. People are used to it. But oh no, the glorious Prime Minister thinks this is such a huge problem where he has to include this in every freaking UN meeting or meeting he goes to.
Are quite comfortable with describing yourself as a feminist. Tell us about that.
Well, first of all, I'm going to keep saying loud and clearly that I am a feminist until...
Hear me roar.
Until it is met with a shrug.
He worries about feminism, women aren't being treated right, all races aren't being treated right, and he likes to conclude himself as being a feminist, likes to present himself as a feminist. I'm a feminist, my father was a feminist. Feminist, feminist, feminist. That's all he talks about in all of his meetings. And even, with the Donald Trump meeting and stuff like that, everything, just, you know what I mean. Okay, but besides the feminist stuff, he also likes to flex on the camera. You can't put him on camera too long or he'll start showing off or something like that. He likes to be in the news. He likes to have that type of power, I think. Or just something weird like that. I have no clue. It's funny how we have a Prime Minister that likes to show, we had one that didn't even show his face too much, Stephen Harper. He didn't even show his face, he didn't really care. But we have Trudeau that's all in the news, and he's all, around and stuff like that. But if he's in the news too long, he'll start showing off and make stupid decisions in that, news outlet. Alright, the next point I gotta say, Mr. Trudeau, is Islamic phobia. Now I guess it's not really a problem in my opinion. Like, I don't mind Muslim people here or immigrants or whatever, because this country was built on immigrants. People need to realize that. People need to stop complaining about this country. Without immigrants, it would be nothing. And Canada plays a huge part in our history and stuff like that. But, like, I don't blame people being scared of or have Islamophobia. The reason why is because they're blowing each other up in their own fucking country. How, like, of course people are scared, and then they're spreading out into, like, Europe and stuff, and America. There's been shootings going on there. And wonder why people are scared of Muslims, or, you know, because they're from that country. They're from a war zone country. It's not the people's at fault, it's just the country, and you need to realize that, you know, there's some people that are scared. Plus, he lets all these, like, immigrants in. Now, I don't have a problem with letting immigrants in, they're okay, but he lets in so much. Or, like, when that whole election thing was going on with Trump, a lot of Muslims were crossing the border into Canada because they're afraid of being kicked out. Trump can't legally do that, but, you know, whatever. They were all afraid we actually had to put them in, like, a stadium in Ontario or something like that, and they had to sleep there, and it wasn't good. But it was just so busy where anybody, like, we have the longest undefended border in the world. Anybody could slip through, and so, you know, you're gonna let the wrong people in, like, without any background checks, any stuff like that. You're gonna let in some kind of terrorist organization or something. So a little bit more cautious, maybe slow down on the immigration and stuff. That's just my advice. Like, what happened I think it was a few months ago, this Muslim dude ran over this cop and then got out of his car and repeatedly stabbed him. I think he was Muslim, something like that. And then he got back in his car and ran a few people over. He was, you know, captured, but they found an ISIS flag in his freaking car, like, of the trunk. And that's like, so, you know, you're more susceptible to terrorist attack if you keep letting people in, like, a lot. Like, we accept probably hundreds of immigrants a day into this country. Slow down a bit, okay? Like, I don't mind them being here, like, they're not taking our jobs or anything like that. I don't think that's, you know, right that people think that, but, you know, whatever. Oh, and you won't hear the end of it. He doesn't, I don't think he wants to look like he has Islamophobia. I don't think he wants to look like it, so that's why he's not, like, slowing it down or stopping it, is because he doesn't want to look like a hypocrite or anything like that. So that's why I think he just keeps sending more over. Once again, don't mind immigrants, but, you know, slow down a little bit in the process and maybe check them over, like, a few times. Oh, and when Stephen Harper was in power, apparently this terrorist organization or something like that wanted to break into the House of Parliament and kill the Prime Minister and take over the government or some stupid thing like that. He was arrested, put life in jail, and stripped of his citizenship. Makes sense, right? You know, he's in life in prison, why would he need citizenship? But Trudeau, of course, worries about the least important things. He says that he doesn't think it's right for them to not have their citizenships. You know, they're already having a tough time in jail. Like, they're in life in jail. What do you need a citizenship for if you're in jail? You're lucky you're even in a Canadian jail. You could be in, like, a Syrian jail, a Muslim jail, something like that. You know, Israel, like, they're lucky they're even in, like, a proper, like, a good jail. Like, yeah, jail's not good, but you know where I'm coming from. Plus, he gave, like, what, $10 million to this one Muslim dude? He didn't even need that much money to start with. Like, you could have gave him something less, like maybe $100,000 or something like that, but no, you gave him $10 million. Just because he told his story, you know, he had such a hard time in his country. People are suffering in our own country where they don't even get that much money. You could have donated that into, like, you know, homelessness, because that's a problem in Vancouver and places like Ontario and stuff like that with a large population. You could have focused on that, but you chose to give it to one individual that was Muslim $10 million. Like, that's a little bit ridiculous, Trudeau. Also, that joke about Trudeau, you know, nothing he says is Trudeau. At points, he is not truthful at stuff. Like, he was converted in with the NDP and stuff like that and promised to do this for them and this. He never did that, and he wonders why the NDP is all pissed at him for that. It's because he didn't do anything truthful. Like, he didn't do that thing that they want him to do. And he just lies on top of lies. Like, I get that he has good intentions, but he needs to, you know, maybe lower the minor crap down and pretend like he is a good prime minister and start thinking about, you know, the major problems, our economy, our environment, so on and so forth. If you focus on one of those and they turn out good, then you should be good on that. Also, back to the feminist stuff, he wants, I think I already mentioned that he wants just everything to be equal and stuff like that, like race, gender, whatever. Once again, Canada's the most equal country you could get in this world nowadays. He wanted to change our anthem. I know, how ridiculous is that? He wanted to change our anthem into "We stand on us for thee" instead of "We stand on sons for." I can't believe I messed up my anthem, but still, he wanted to change "sons" into "us." That is ridiculous, Mr. Trudeau. I think, well, like, I still hear "sons" in the anthem, so it doesn't even matter. I don't think schools are like, whatever, Trudeau, you're kind of acting like an idiot now. And that's true. Like, I don't hear "us" anymore. But that's what he was going to do. I think he might have succeeded, I'm not too sure. But he wanted to be gender neutral. Like, I don't think he's really respecting the history we have in Canada. Like, we have a really good history. Back in World War I, we took down a German, fort that no one could take down. The British, the Americans, they couldn't take that down. But we stepped in there and we came up with a strategy and did that. Hundreds and thousands of innocent Canadian soldiers that weren't even trained properly went on foreign beaches and died. And I get kind of pissed off when people won't respect Canada that should be. Like, it should be really respected, because without Canada, this world would be really hard on sexes, genders, stuff like that. Like, Canada is a safe haven. And what Trudeau wants to do is he wants to change all that. Change our history and, you know, forget our dark parts. Like, all history has dark parts, but we need just to accept it like that and accept our mistakes and learn from them. We have a lot of good in her history, I think, and we need to learn from that as well. Okay, I wanted to get this out of the way. I am a liberal. Like, I like the Liberal Party. Like, I know I'm not even eligible to vote, but I like the Liberal Party. I like what they do, their ideas and stuff like that. But I don't like their leader that they picked, obviously. That's why I'm making a rant on them. I didn't like the Conservatives either, though. I didn't like Stephen Harper. I think he wanted to Americanize us too much, and he also wanted to, what's it called? He didn't show his face too much, and he didn't really converse with other leaders. I'm gonna give Trudeau this, though. He actually shows himself around, you know, even though he likes to show off and flex in front of the camera. He at least converts with other leaders, and, you know, he has good intentions. You can tell he's a good guy, but, you know, whatever. Like, if I met the guy in real life, I'm pretty sure I would still shake his hand, because he's the Prime Minister and I should show every Canadian and everybody the same amount of respect. Okay guys, that's really all for this rant. It's gonna be a new series. I'm just gonna be talking about Trudeau, Trump. I think I already mentioned this already. Yeah, see, when you record for a long time, you kind of... Actually, it hasn't even been that while, but whatever. You start to talk about the same stuff, and I was kind of getting annoyed, and I lost some points on why I was ranting about Trudeau. But anyways, you know, I think Trudeau could do a 180 on this. I think he could do better, in my opinion, like go on stuff he was saying, and, you know, just stop handing out money and stop having sympathy for terrorists. I don't think that's really appropriate for our Prime Minister. But anyways, guys, it is November 11th. Instead of the normal outro, I'm gonna have kind of just a moment of silence for like all the Canadian soldiers soldiers, I can't say that properly, that passed during the war or came back with PTSD or something like that. So, you know, there's going to be a Canadian flag at the end and a song playing, and it's just going to be, you know, a nice thing. Instead of the normal intro and stuff. But you'll expect more of these rants. I'm going to use this camera more. It's actually pretty good. Shout out to Anime Uprights for actually giving me this stuff. Like, I'm actually pretty lucky that I do have a friend like that. So, anyways, my name is from the Story of Games, and bye!
Hours at 11 o'clock on this 11th day of November, we'd like to invite you to share with us 2 minutes of silence in honor of our veterans. They fought and some died for their homeland. They fought and some died, now it's our land. Look at his little child, there's no fear in her eyes. Could he not show respect for other dads who have died? Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who went over. In peace may they rest, may we never forget why they died. It's a pittance of time. God forgive me for wanting to strike him. Give me strength so as not to be like him. My heart pounds in my breast, fingers pressed to my lips, my throat